Welcome back to Motech Performance, and in this week's video we have a Le Mans Blue M3 Touring with some lovely MWX wheels fitted to it. We then have a Mini F66 Cooper S with the full JCW Pro Kit installed alongside the Remus exhaust, and something rather special behind me, a 30 Jahre Edition 1 of 300 BMW F10 M5. This is really cool and something worth looking over. Steve's going to run you through the full details. This week behind me we have something a little bit different in the shape of an F66 Mini Cooper S. Now we've done the full works on this car, we've completely overhauled it. We've actually used the factory as a bit of inspiration though. So we've gone with the full JCW Pro catalogue of parts. So we've got the front splitter elements, sides, rear spats, the spoiler, and then also on the C-pillars they do these rear window fins which are awesome. You can actually see through them and they vent. It's really nice. Mirror caps to finish it off on the JCW side of things, but most importantly what we've actually done is the Remus exhaust. And now the Cooper S is a controversial topic anyway because it doesn't come with an exhaust tip. It actually comes as a flat diffuser, almost like an electric car, which as a Cooper S is a bit weak to be honest. So Remus sorted this right out. They've done a system which uses the official JCW rear diffuser that you get from BMW Mini, and then you pair it up with the Remus exhaust which gives you that traditional Mini finish by having the tailpipe in the centre and a bit more volume. They're a very muted car from standard, so adding that bit of extra volume really helps. This car sounds absolutely awesome. It looks way better after the parts have been put on. So we're going to get it outside, give it a launch up the road and see what it sounds like.
So Alex mentioned at the start of this video, we are working on this F10 BMW M5, rather special. And as you can see, it's a little bit different to the cars we usually do. A lot of them come through gloss paint work, but this one has this satin matte effect. They actually call it frozen from BMW. So working on this is a little bit different. We have gloss areas, but there aren't a lot of them at all. So what I'm doing at the moment is working around the gloss areas. You'd have seen a little bit of B-roll of the wash being done. But yeah, jumping onto the gloss areas to get them done before we lay down some protection. Now, protection-wise, the options are a little bit different to what you'd expect with gloss. We're opting for C1, which is a bit more of a dated version of the protection, but it's a little bit different. It's actually quartz-based. So once it is laid on the surface, it won't affect the finish, so it will still look frozen just like this, but it actually hardens like a film of glass over the whole paintwork. Let's get around the car, have a little look real quick, and get into some machine polishing. So the exterior all done now, all coated and ready to see the outside world. It is now jumping onto the interior and getting this protected too. Now for that, we're using i1 smart fabric from G-Technic, and it has a lot of Alcantara on the seats. Carpets are obviously fabric, but also door cards, they also have Alcantara too. So we're gonna protect all of this. The benefits of this is it's antibacterial, and it also repels water. So if you do spill your drink in the car, it's absolutely fine. It will just bead up, and you can just use a cloth to blot it all out. So when you get into the interior and get it all protected.
So you'd have probably seen in the previous video, Blake has gone through the list of parts we had to change, and some of the suspension components needed to be changed, brought up, be a bit more modernized with a better damper set. And of course, being an age of the car it is, some things are just starting to show signs of wear and tear. So with this time around, we're changing it for the I-back spring kit, which will drop the front about 20 mil and that rear about 10 mil, along with the 12 mil spacer setup because on the 19-inch wheels. And this is all about, rather than replacing with BMW, replace with something better. So the I-back is a better spring, and of course it gives you a performance edge because it's lower and the car will handle and also look a bit better as well. Dampers, rear dampers seem fine, no problems at all, although pulling it apart, the top mount is very water ingress, which has actually caused, I mean, these things get very wet, which is not the best, but also slightly worrying is the rear bump stop is split and always wet. So obviously, like Blake says, these things are always throwing water in the wheel arch, so that's always a wet part. And as you can see here on the damper, it started just to eat away. So we've got some corrosion on the damper here. Now the bump stop covers that, so it'd never really be interfering, but you know, it can get worse over time. But we're changing them out for the B6. These are an adaptive set of dampers, so there'll be a plug and play. So yet again, the sport button and comfort buttons and drive will still work the same. Onto the fronts, we've actually ordered new dust covers. These normally split, but actually they're not too bad. But that is a genuine BMW part, along with top rubbers either side, front and rear. And one thing we also noticed, well, we're taking the top mounts off, they just start to show signs of age. You can feel it's just not smooth, it makes a bit of a noise, it's just a little bit tired from being the age of the vehicle is. So, you know, a pair of brand new top mounts in there should make the car absolutely turn on the button. Dampers on the front, there's a big difference on the piston, as you can see. These have an internal bump stop. The B6 damper adaptive is a real nice setup. It's very clever how it works and is really designed for that sporty drive over something like this. Now, a lot of manufacturers don't do this for two reasons. One, for cost, and two, because of ride. This will give the car a lot more of a sportier ride, which a lot of people want, especially yourselves being an enthusiast. Well, this is just an okay setup. But for the enthusiast, yet again, don't replace the OEM, upgrade to something a bit neater. And what we had also noticed, when we stripped it apart, it just started to show us a little bit of signs of weeping as well. Just stuff that you expect to see on a car that's nearly 10 years old with 60,000 miles on it. You'll see a finished article of how the car sits and the brakes done on this one, but then in a couple of videos time, once we've done the detailing, we've got the car and about, I'll report back the difference between the standard stuff and this stuff. But the biggest problem is at the minute, the car is on old tires. So changing all this is gonna make a difference, but we're still gonna be slowed down by them tyres. They are rock hard, and we are not going to spend the money on changing those tyres out just yet because new wheels are coming. So back over to Blake, let's get these parts fitted and see how the car sits and looks. So now onto the brakes. We have been dealing with Tarox for a couple of years, and they have supplied these, the two-part floating front and rear setup on the F2000 style of pad and disc, should I say. Few things you can see before and afterwards. This is the front set. Now, these are the actual original discs, we believe, although it looks like someone's had a bit of a go at some point in life taking them off. They've been a bit mashed up in certain places. Onto the pads, we've gone for the Tarox Strada pad, which is their fast road pad, not their track pad, so perfect for what we want to do. And you can see The colouring difference, okay, yes, I know this is a used pad to a brand new pad, but the colouring, obviously, of the actual pad compound is completely different to a standard one. And obviously, look at the surface area, look at how much pad is going to be actually attacking the disc on hard braking compared to the standard one. So the overall percentage, there's going to be more pad on the face of the disc, which is of course what we want. Now on the discs, rather than the drill holes, which can clog up and then basically when they get hot, they can expand and cause cracking, we've gone for these slots. Now the whole point of these slots is one, to basically get rid of heat and the pressure. So when you're braking hard, the heat and the pressure builds up on the pad, it's got somewhere for it to escape. Also, talking about the heat, look at the difference. 2-part floating brake setup compared to obviously just a pushed in setup. You can tell this is just going to disperse the heat better. So don't replace with OEM, upgrade to performance. Same story on the rears, can't wait to get them fitted. And also look at the hubs, rather than this rusty thing that's going to look like that very quickly, this stunning black anodized hub is going to look pure class. So we're going to get it all built up. Blake's going to road test the car. We're going to get some footage. That footage will just show you how the car sort of handles and behaves on the road. Now we can't push it 10 tenths at the minute because it's still on 2018 tyres, but future videos coming across, we will get a bit more sort of feedback, but we'll let you enjoy the B-roll of these being fitted, and let us know what you think so far of the build series of the M4.
Behind me this week then, we have this M3 Touring. Now with the fleet of individual colours that we've seen recently, this is only adding to it. This is Le Mans Blue. So it's a colour I've not seen before actually, certainly not on this G8X platform. Now this M3 Touring behind us, the guy that owns this, he actually had an M3 before. It was Brooklyn Grey, it was on the standard wheels, it was lowered on the IVAC springs, but it was very OEM. The mission with the M3 Touring was to stand out, the opposite of what we'd done previously. Hence why we've got the Motech Lowering Springs on the car. We've then also paired it up with the MW10s in gloss polished. The car has the Sturken front splitter on it and is covered in PPF. What a package to have. It looks absolutely fantastic. And I think as an instruction of let's make this car stand out, we've done a great job. Let's see what the customer thinks and we'll get it outside.